Hello, I'm Lida Perry, and today I want to speak about leadership. By now, you might have understood that one of the goals of this training is to prepare you to be leaders. There are many books and articles about the subject, and one can get lost among all of the definitions and models. But today I like to present an approach to leadership that I believe fits perfectly with your training. In the past, leadership was called management, with an emphasis on providing technical expertise and directions. The context was the traditional industrial economy command and control. As a matter of fact, when I started training psychologists in other contexts, I was in this model. And I realized after a while that I just didn't get the involvement, the engagement from the students that I would have wanted or would have been necessary and important. So I went to my supervisor, and he said, after I presented my concerns, giving advice, it's like giving a comb to a bald person. And that gave me pause. And I realized that I needed to evolve in my leadership approach. And there has been an evolution in the approach to leadership, where the focus seemed to be toward what I would call choral leadership. Choral leadership focuses on an approach that considers all members of the team potential leaders and supports the importance not so much of the contact, but especially on the trainer's teacher responsibility with the students' trainees. I have taken this interesting concepts from a delightful little book by Gianfranco Goeta called The Imperfect Leader. Unfortunately, it's only written in Italian. In his introduction, he affirms that we are asked to be leaders daily with our strengths and weaknesses in a very complex situation. Therefore, leadership, a trite theme, comes back to the present in a new and different light. How can we be passable leaders in the context in which we work? And he continues saying, leadership is for everyone in today's perpetually crisis-ridden world, a fundamental factor for success in every day as well as in a difficult time of life. He suggests that the first skill of the leader, which precedes all others, is self-analysis and using one's reflections to build one mindset before teaching. For the author, the process of learning ties together the four fundamental dimensions for us being in this world: feel, think, say, and do. This learning cycle confronts us with the process in which self-management and self-growth take place. He also tells us that imperfect leaders are imperfect as the people who embody this figure, deeply human and therefore successful to mistakes, but above all, they have the potential to undergo profound improvement centered on a constant and renewed awareness of one's role. By example, you will educate potential leaders. You might recognize that this approach reflects the column on which are based the training you are undergoing: self-assessment, social skills, and leadership. Another skill for a leader after self-analysis is the relationship between teacher, trainer, and student, trainee, and among themselves. The content is not the focus, however important, but through the correct setup and use of rapport, the learning becomes more solid and deeper because people participate actively. They can achieve this result by listening to themselves and others, by searching and finding solutions, by experimenting. Only then they can actually acquire the trainer's skills and grow in a more mature professional identity. We could define this approach also as collective learning. The basic idea is that knowledge is built together through active exchanges, facilitated by practical exercise and debriefing sessions. When we understand what was learned and what were the open questions. Efficient leadership allows us to reach our important goals, to move forward toward our priorities, our potentialities, to make the right decisions, create new projects, getting up from our falls and getting back on track. In short, we need to achieve self-control so we can have a positive impact on the people around us. Leadership is a transaction between one individual and others. So, rapport with others is the main leverage to use in order to manage positively our existence in the world. It helps us build authentic and long-lasting relationships, solve problems, resolve conflicts, find shared solutions, and ask for help. In summary, feeling good with oneself and others is the key. From this perspective, it is not difficult to observe that leadership is a transpersonal phenomenon rather than a gift or a quality possessed by a person. The leading role in our work and in your work is reserved for the trainees. The leader helps to focus the priority, clarify their unique resources, to teach them how to practice leadership on self and other in their context. The leader gives them motivation, not just rules. You are trainers and teachers in the highest meaning of the word. One of your tasks is to give precise, clear feedback so that the evaluation becomes a logical endpoint of a performance. I want to spend a few words here about the process of evaluation. In my working experience, it was one of the most empowering and rich processes. Often it becomes a vehicle of self-determination. At times, it was interesting to discover how the perception of my performance was different from the one of my supervisor, or how I underestimate myself by forgetting to point out my strong points. Often, though, we think of the evaluation process as a way to control or criticize our performance. We might instead think of a part of our development. Another task is to help trainees to help each other, using learning and cooperative teaching. You see, the truth is best found together because the other can see a piece of it better. There is always someone who does not understand entirely and needs help. And those who can explain something learns it better than anyone else. It is important to develop awareness of the learning process of all the trainees. It is necessary to motivate them by explaining the meaning of what they're doing. The leader awakens the inner leader of the student or trainee. He or she can help them to be autonomous in their world and create what is needed when the teacher or trainer is no longer there to support them. This is my last video for your course, and I want to express my delight in being able to share some of my experience as a trainer and as a group leader in different working contexts. In the process of gathering information and reflecting about my professional experience as a trainer, I made the most important discovery for me. I found again the joy of teaching and of becoming an imperfect leader. It has been a challenge and a pleasure to record these videos. I wish you all the best for your career and future development, professional and personal. Bye.